Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jackie and today I'm here to do a very special kind of video. Today, in honor of Star Wars Day, which is the day you guys are seeing this, May 4th. Happy Star Wars Day, everybody. I figured I'd go through all of my Star Wars books in my current collection. I was a fan for almost 2 decades now. I became a fan in 2008, so 18 years. And it literally changed my life. I've talked about my love for Star Wars in so many different videos, whether it be vlogs of me going to conventions and meeting some of the cast, or just ranking the movies, which I have an entire ranking of that I need to update at some point in time. I'll link it up in the cards. This saga has consumed my life. Of course, there is books to go along with the saga, so I figured I'd go through some of them that are in my current collection. Now, these are not all of them. I have a few that are in storage that I don't feel like pulling out, but I will talk about them in the video. I'll just put up a picture, but keep in mind they are in my collection. I just don't have them physically out right now. Before we dive into the books, I have quite a big stack right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's right there. Most of the books in my collection are coffee table books. I don't have a lot of the novelizations of the movies or any of the the Legends books that are no longer canon. I have a few, but not a whole lot. So without me rambling on further, let's jump right in and get started with the books. The first book I want to talk about is honestly the book out of all these, and maybe in my entire book collection as a whole, I've read the most, and that is going to be the novelization of Revenge of the Sith by Matthew Stover. It is missing its dust jacket, but I have read this so many times, as you guys can tell by the state of the book. It is very beat up. So now Revenge of the Sith is not only my favorite movie in the saga, it is my favorite movie of all time. And it was the book that has literally kept me a Star Wars fan almost 2 decades later after I initially watched it. And I have just been obsessed with it. And this book, again, the minute I read it and after I saw the movie for the first time, I just became obsessed. I could not tell you how many times I've read this book. It is my second favorite book of all time, only after Grey, which is my favorite book of all time still. I think I have read this more times than Grey, though, and that's saying it a lot. If you guys don't like Revenge of the Sith as a movie, I get it, believe me, I understand. Read the novelization of the movie. I think you'll get such more insight on the movie as a whole. It talks a lot about stuff that we didn't necessarily see in the movie. Some of the deleted scenes are mentioned in here. And I feel like it's a lot darker than the movie in a lot of ways. I have a full review of it. I'll link it up in the cards for you guys. I love this book. I also have the 20th anniversary edition of it. I'll put up a picture right here. I'm waiting for this to come in from Barnes & Noble. I ordered it a few months ago. It just hasn't come in yet. So I'll have a much prettier edition here soon. You'll see it in a haul eventually. But that is just the one I wanted to mention first. Second novelization of one of the movies, and that is going to be Attack of the Clones. It is in storage, so that's why I don't have it with me, but I do own it. This one I haven't read quite as much as Revenge of the Sith, but I have still read it a ton. This and Revenge of the Sith, the novelizations, again, played a huge part of me as an early fan back in the mid-2000s. I love this as well. It's very well done. I, again, think it hits a lot harder than Attack of the Clones does as a movie. I think it gives you a lot more insight on Attack of the Clones and kind of what we didn't see behind the scenes. So I wanted to mention with both the novelizations, with Attack of the Clones and with Revenge of the Sith, I think these are key, especially if you're watching Star Wars for the very first time and maybe watch the movies, didn't like it quite as much, but if we want something that will give you another perspective on the movies, Attack of the Clones is definitely the way to go, and Revenge of the Sith. Also, it's great to read and watch these before you watch the Clone Wars TV show, which comes obviously immediately after this one and right before Revenge of the Sith. I promise you, if you read this / watch it, then dive into the Clone Wars and then watch Revenge of the Sith, it's gonna shift your perspectives on a lot of things, I promise you. Next up, we have Dark Force Rising. This is by Timothy Zahn. On the cover, this is an old library copy I picked up at Savers. It is taking place 5 years after Return of the Jedi, so the 6th movie in the saga, and we are following Han, Luke, and Leia as they are trying to bring down Grand Admiral Thrawn. This is after the fall of the Empire, so of course there's still some remnants of what was once the Empire about in the galaxy. This is part of Legends, like I mentioned, so this is no longer canon, but I personally think some of the Legends novels are fantastic. I haven't personally read this one yet. It is part of a trilogy. This is the second book in a trilogy. I did not realize that at the time. But some of the ones that I have read that are now Legends are fantastic. So this is one I'm excited to give a try eventually. We have the whole entire trilogy, and that is the Queen's Peril trilogy by E.K. Johnston. This is the first 2 books. We have Queen's Peril as well as Queen Cho. There is a 3rd book. I have misplaced it. It is probably in storage, but that is the trilogy. Following Padme Amidala, and it is just following her life as a queen, as a senator, and then into the Clone Wars era after her marriage to Anakin. I have read parts of both of these, and I have read the entirety of the third novel. I love it. Padme is one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. She's such a strong female character that's not afraid to kick some butt. And it's really interesting to see how her character evolved throughout the first three movies, what we didn't see behind the scenes, all that. The third book is definitely a great one if you're a fan of Anakin and Padme as a romance. I loved it. Definitely recommend this one. We have Master Evil, and this is by Adam Christopher. The newest Star Wars book in my collection. I got this for Christmas last year. It is taking place immediately after the events of Revenge of the Sith. It's following Darth Vader as he's, learning how to be a Sith Lord and growing his power. Again, I have yet to read this. I love this cover though. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a sucker for anything Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader related. It is my cup of tea, and following him directly, especially after the Revenge of the Sith, is going to definitely be an interesting perspective. So that is that one. Now we're moving on to my big stack of coffee table books. Two are similar, so I'm going to hold them up together. We have two Star Wars character encyclopedias. This first one is characters from just the original 6 movies. It does not touch the sequels. It does not touch any of the TV shows. It's pretty much just little tidbits of information, fun facts on the characters we all know and love. It's pretty interesting. It's a nice look forward to if you're a diehard fan like myself and didn't know some fun facts about the characters. So that is that one. Everything with this one, this is similar. This is just characters from the prequel movies as well as the Clone Wars TV show, aka my favorite show of all time. It's really interesting because it actually talks about stuff that happened in the prequel movies, so episodes 1, 2, and 3, and also, of course, what happened in the Clone Wars TV show. It's really interesting. I like having both of those. They're nice to have as a diehard fan. I highly recommend if you're a fan like myself. We have this one, which is a complete visual dictionary. It's also very similar to the character encyclopedias where we have all different characters, probably the most popular ones, and it talks about who they are, how they came to be, all that jazz. This also is pretty interesting because it dives into like the weapons and everything, the lightsabers, the guns, everything that a character might have on them is included in more detail than the encyclopedias did. I really like this to have as a cosplayer. I think if you're looking for the very intricate details on the outfits for a cosplay, this is insightful to have. I've used it for past cosplays myself, so that is that one. Along those same lines, I of course had to have just the Revenge of the Sith visual dictionary. It is literally included in the book I just showed you. This is just Revenge of the Sith. I am collecting, I started a collection a few years ago, anything related to Revenge of the Sith, any books that are just directly Revenge of the Sith related, again, because it's my favorite movie of all time. So I had to have this. Just to show you guys an example of what's included, this is what I'm talking about. This is Anakin's page, so we have, and of course there's spoilers on here, so if you haven't watched the movies, look away. This is just like, again, in-depth detail on different things in the outfit, in the scenes, in anything. I have had these for years. They're really great to have, again, for just to have as information guides, to have for cosplay. I love having them, so that is that one. Next we have Star Wars The Ultimate Visual Guide. This, again, very similar to all those coffee table books I just mentioned, where it is talking in depth about characters and everything. But also, this is a complete guide to the movies. It also touches on Legends stuff. It talks about stuff that happened way, way, way before the Phantom Menace happened, and stuff that happens after Return of the Jedi. Again, all of these go up to Return of the Jedi in the coffee table books that I own. None of them touch the sequels. And now all of it is Legends that happens basically in all of the extra stuff that we are talking about in here. Stuff that is mentioned in here, like the Battle of Mandalore and the High Republic era, is technically canon, but the stuff that's included now in here mostly is what they would call Legends. So it's nice to have. Again, I've read this more times than I can probably count. I have done whole research projects on Revenge of the Sith, so I've used that along with the encyclopedias to have as a guide. I love having them, and it's a great one to have if you're, again, a diehard fan like I am. Last book I'm going to talk about, again, I don't have physically on me currently. But it is another book that might be up there on the books I've read the most time, and that is going to be Dressing a Galaxy. This is the ultimate guide to the costumes of Star Wars. This is a book I used to check out from my library like every single chance I got. This basically was my favorite book of all time up until I read Grey. And again, Revenge of the Sith is up there as well, the novelization. I love this book. I finally got a copy for myself a few years ago. Again, it's currently in storage and I just don't feel like digging it out. But it is incredible to looking through all the little tiny details of the costumes. It's great for cosplayers. I love having it, and I highly, highly, highly recommend this one. That is going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a bit different than what I normally do, but I figured it'd be fun for Star Wars Day to do something like this. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not already. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. In the comments down below, have you guys watched the Star Wars movie? What's your favorite? Anything at all. I would love to hear it in the comments down below. As always, all my social media links are linked down below if you guys would like to follow me on any of those. And with all being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you guys soon for another video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye, and may the Force be with you.